Hey everyone, what's going on? Brandon Gilbert here of the Lazy Panda Studios, and I am here to talk about our newest project, Dragon Ball Super AF Chapter Xicor. Now I'm going to come right out and say that this is in fact our last Dragon Ball animation for at least a little while, because we do have a lot of stuff that are original and some video games that we really want to tackle and make into animations that we've been wanting to do for a really long time. And where our process of animating things is literally like step by step, drawing everything, coloring everything, and then making it all move in an editing program, it takes a while. So after this, we're going to be moving on to some originals and other content that we want to produce. But this video is here to talk about Chapter Xicor and what it's about. Now, as most of you I'm sure know in the Dragon Ball community, Xicor is a character who was created by Toyotaru, who was known by Toyble at the time of when the Dragon Ball AF big manga that he made came out and, exploded on the internet, and Toriyama gave it great praise. And when I myself saw this for the first time and read the manga, I absolutely fell in love with the character, and back when I was probably about 13 or 14, I think is when I discovered it. So since then, I've always wanted to make this into an animated project of some kind. Now, way back, probably a summer or two ago, I had actually started making the animation process for Goku becoming Super Saiyan 5 of that manga. And unfortunately, right when I was about to complete the animation and get it all said and done for just a simple 2-3 minute thing, somebody else had already beaten me to the punch and had released it just as I was about to do it, so it kind of felt silly to make something that someone else had already just put out. So I stepped away from it for a while and tried working on a couple of other things that I couldn't really grasp an interest on, and then finally the planets aligned and Lazy Panda got a couple of more people who I am very good friends with and very grateful for all the hard work that they've put into this, and make it into something brand new, completely different from the manga, but still keeping the character. I changed his design a little bit, still trying to keep it a little similar to what Toyotaru made way back when, but I wanted to kind of make it our own, in our own way, to basically make it our own rendition of the character. And I also wanted to see how we could fit it into the Dragon Ball Super kind of timeline with the Super Saiyan God abilities and Mastered Ultra Instinct and all those things. So what we ended up doing was taking everything up to the point of the Tournament of Power, everything that had happened from Dragon Ball all the way to Z, and instead of Super happening after Z, we decided, because I am a huge fan of Super Saiyan 4, and I really like the form's design, we decided to implicate the idea that GT happened, and I know nobody likes GT, and that's okay, you don't have to, but we took GT and made that come after Z, and then Super happens after GT. However, Dragon Ball GT, I feel, could have been a great series if it had been written a little better. So basically what we're doing is we're kind of taking GT and turning it into something called Super Dragon Ball GT, where Goku and the gang have gone through the events of GT, but certain things have changed, like Goku, for us in our Super Dragon Ball GT timeline, Goku was never turned into a kid. Instead, that's kind of how Pilaf became a kid again. That wish where he said, that accidental wish that he made being turned youthful actually happens in GT, like he says in Super. So we made those changes. We changed the Shadow Dragon arc where Goku never goes off with Shenron and gives his life and dies. There's a different way that they defeat Omega Shenron. And then it moves on to Super, where instead of, so for certain events that took place in Super, where Goku fought as a Super Saiyan 3 on King Kai's planet, he fought him as a Super Saiyan 4. The levels, basically, everything in Super just kind of gets increased with a power boost. Everybody's just, that much stronger, because instead of Super Saiyan 3, before gods come, there is just a higher cap. There's a higher power level cutoff, where Super Saiyan 4 is the top dog instead of 3. And then they get into the ability of Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, where those forms are stronger than Super Saiyan 4. And maybe we'll make this animation at some point down the road where we have this idea where Goku and Vegeta, amongst their training with Whis, kind of have this idea of, well, if Super Saiyan God is supposed to be the base form of a Saiyan God, and then Super Saiyan Blue is supposed to be the Super Saiyan version, why couldn't they implement the same techniques that they've used to achieve Super Saiyan 3 and 4 and 2 and all those to the forms of Super Saiyan God? Which thus gives birth to the forms you've seen in the first teaser trailer and in this one, where they have the Super Saiyan God hair and they have the Super Saiyan Blue fur. I've had this idea in some sketches and artwork for a while, and now that we're able to animate things, I wanted to bring this to life, and I figured this idea would be the best way to do it. So Xicor shows up just before Broly does. Just before the events of Broly, and like 2 or 3 months after the victory of the Tournament of Power. So in this storyline, they win the Tournament of Power, and it's not very long of a period of time for peace before Xicor shows up. And in between this 3-month period before Xicor shows up, and after the victory of the Tournament of Power, and Goku figuring out Ultra Instinct, or at least experiencing it, they have this, that's when they come to this realization in that time frame of increasing the God forms to either a level 2, a level 3, and a level 4. So the storyline is completely different from Toible Toriatara's manga, but the character still remains kind of the same. His origin is changed a little bit to make it fit more with his appearance and why he has those like spikes on him and things like that. Once you see the actual animation, it's explained a little bit. We didn't have enough time to really go insanely in depth with the story, which is kind of why I'm making this video right now. This video is basically just made to give you something fun to watch with a little bit of story, but mostly just fun Dragon Ball entertainment that we're trying to deliver before we start hopping on to something else. So that's about it for what I can reveal without spoiling the entire video, but that's basically it. Dragon Ball Super AF takes place after Dragon Ball Super, but Dragon Ball Super takes place after GT, and GT has been drastically changed in many of its points and plot points that just did not make the series do well. We do plan on making a manga for Super Dragon Ball GT and possibly Dragon Ball Super AF, so that way we still have some type of Dragon Ball content going. But after this, that's pretty much going to be it for Dragon Ball animations for a while. We do appreciate everybody's commitment and excitement and love for Dragon Ball Z Multiverse, and as much as we would like to continue that series, we just don't have the staff to do it. It's literally only 4 of us here that are working on this right now. So hopefully as time goes on, we'll start recruiting more people to be able to make bigger and better projects and maybe even do more than one at a time. But as of right now, we kind of have to take things step by step and project by project, and we'll go from there as hopefully Lazy Panda grows. But that's all I have time for, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope everyone is looking forward to this next project that we have coming out. We're very, very excited to release it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notifications button for any updates and anything new that comes out to Lazy Panda Studios. Also, check out all of our social media platforms where we update there all the time. And also, don't forget to check out our Patreon. If you feel our content is worthy enough and you think we deserve it, please, even $1 a month can go a long way to helping us produce either more than one project at a time or to even just make the quality of our projects that much better. Thank you all again for watching, and we will see you next time.